It appeared without warning, a smooth metallic sphere gliding across the skies of Buga, Colombia, on March 2, 2025. Cold to the touch, impossibly seamless, and etched with mysterious markings, it left scientists and locals stunned. For weeks, it sat in silence, its true nature hidden beneath a flawless shell. But when the Buga sphere finally stirred, it wasn't just a spectacle, it became a riddle that challenged human understanding itself. What secret could be so profound that it unsettled even the brightest minds? Arrival over Buga. It was an ordinary morning in March 2025 when the skies over Buga, Colombia, suddenly played host to something extraordinary. Witnesses on the ground described a metallic sphere drifting silently downward, glowing faintly in the sunlight. Unlike anything man-made, it had no seams, no rivets, and no visible propulsion. Just smooth perfection. At first glance, it was about the size of a bowling ball, yet it behaved as though it had the density of air itself. When weighed, the object came in at only 4.5 pounds, an impossibility given its metallic exterior. Right away, people knew they were not dealing with a piece of fallen space debris. They were looking at something far stranger. Local reporters rushed to the scene, capturing footage of the sphere perched neatly on the ground as if it had been placed there intentionally. The footage shows farmers, shopkeepers, and curious children gathering to see the mysterious ball, none of them realizing that their small Colombian city was about to become the center of global attention. Within days, international scientists arrived, bringing mobile labs, scanning equipment, and radiation detectors. What they found only deepened the mystery. For starters, the sphere emitted a faint electromagnetic pulse that refused to obey the rules of physics. Instruments detected spikes and drops in magnetic activity every few minutes, as though the object were breathing. Nearby electronics went haywire. GPS signals became unreliable, jumping hundreds of meters in random directions. One tech resident's smartwatch completely reset itself, wiping all personal data just by stepping within a few meters of the artifact. The phenomenon soon earned a name, the Buga effect. Local residents also began reporting strange environmental changes. In the 48 hours after the sphere appeared, flocks of birds suddenly left the area, refusing to return. This behavior is usually linked to natural disasters such as earthquakes, but no seismic activity was recorded. Farm animals grew restless, dogs barked through the night, and farmers swore the soil itself felt charged beneath their feet. Some likened it to standing near a thunderstorm that never broke. Most scientists were simply bemused by the weight of the object. Such a substantial metallic ball should weigh close to 50 pounds, not less than 5. When tested, the outer shell proved harder than titanium yet impossibly light. It seemed to bend the rules of density, mass, and magnetism all at once. Even stranger, there was no sign of heat damage or impact scarring from its descent. It hadn't crashed. It had landed gently, deliberately, almost like a guest taking its first step into a new home. Rumors spread quickly, stretching across miles in seconds. Was it an alien probe? Was it some lost experiment from the Cold War suddenly popping up decades late? Or was it simply a natural phenomenon that we didn't understand? Social media lit up with theories, UFO loyalists claiming it as proof of contact and skeptics demanding earthbound, science-based explanations. But for the people of Buga, speculation had no meaning anymore. They could live it in its presence every single day. What unsettled researchers most was that the sphere was not inert. It was not passive like a meteorite or satellite fragment. These subtle pulses and magnetic shifts indicated activity, as if it were studying its new environment. Therefore, scientists set up long-term monitoring stations capturing periodic data. Each one brought new scans showing phenomena like faint glows below the surface and structures that seemed impossible to build with human technology and rhythmic pulses that looked less like random noise and more like signals. It has come without warning, but it has no choice but to call attention to itself. It transforms a rather quiet Colombian town into the epicenter of the most significant scientific enigma of the century. And, as the whole world scrambles for answers, one chilling question remains. If such a sphere could affect the world by merely sitting idle, what might it have in store for the world when it chooses to react? That answer came soon enough when the engravings on its surface began to react to sound, as if the sphere had been listening all along. The sphere that listens. For months, the metallic orb in Buga sat under constant surveillance. Scientists brought in equipment from all over the world: spectrometers, particle detectors, even custom imaging tools designed for deep space research. Yet the object gave up no secrets. Its outer surface was seamless and unyielding, like a single piece of forged material beyond anything humans could manufacture. To most, it looked dormant. But one detail kept gnawing at researchers: the strange markings etched into its skin. These engravings weren't uniform letters or symbols. They were jagged, uneven, and scattered in patterns that didn't fit any known language. At first, the team assumed they were scratches from entry, some kind of natural abrasion from its descent. But closer inspection revealed deliberate symmetry. The patterns had mathematical spacing, repeating angles, and mirrored forms. Whatever they weren't random. One archaeologist working on the project made a daring suggestion. What if the symbols weren't meant to be read visually at all? What if they were instructions in the form of frequencies? He proposed converting the angles and spacing of the engravings into sound waves. It was a wild idea, treating carved lines as a kind of musical score, but with nothing else to go on, the team decided to try. They rigged a speaker system and played a low, resonant hum derived directly from the carvings. The sound rolled across the tented research site, vibrating the air like a slow-moving earthquake. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the sphere vibrated in response. Not randomly in sync with the sound. Instruments produced an energy spike at the exact frequency of the hum. Cameras picked up a faint shimmer on its surface, as though it were alive and answering back. The new series of experiments were performed with a change in tones. Each time the sphere would respond differently: a gentle pulse of heat, a silvery blue glimmer deep within, or a shift in its electromagnetic field. That was the validation they were looking for. The object was not a passive thing, it was interactive. It could hear. Even more startling, infrared scans exposed something invisibly secretive, a glow pulsing behind its surface. The rhythm of the glow coincided with the given tones outside, as if some internal mechanism were excited by sound waves. The radiologist executing the scans, Dr. Velasquez, described it as a heartbeat that was getting faster with the music. "We are not just watching. We are communicating." The breakthrough generated global headlines. However, a viral video that appeared on the scene days later sent a genuine shockwave through the scientific realm. The video showed the sphere responding to chants in Sanskrit. News reports, many of which have been picked up by Indian media, indicate that these rhythmic tones of the ancient language caused the sphere to glow brighter, steadier, and longer than anything seen before. Detractors quickly labeled the video as fraudulent, yet laboratory equipment confirmed that the response was genuine. Not only was the sphere reacting to contemporary experimentation, but also to frequencies grounded in the most ancient traditions of humankind. Such terrifying possibilities arose. Could a human sound affect the sphere, so it learned about us? Could it adjust? Or, worst of all, could it have been waiting for centuries for someone to utter the correct words to open whatever lay within? Theories began multiplying. Some said the marks weren't carvings but memory codes, made to store information until the right resonance awakened them. Others suggested the sphere was testing us, gauging whether we could recognize the universal language of frequency. And soon, that listening turned into movement when something deep inside the sphere shifted for the very first time, proving it wasn't just hearing us, it was preparing to act.